What's in a name? A title, a story, a bloodline. What is your name? What does it mean to you? A name has the potential to create or destroy, to uplift or discourage. My name is Deyona Burton. Within my name is leadership, advocacy, and courage. I demonstrate these qualities through my actions, my voice, and my stories. My story of activism begins in 2008, when my mother was volunteering on the Obama presidential campaign. Though I was only 5, she saw it fit that I tag along. I recall 2 things about that election. One was running through the halls, passing out flyers and buttons, while the other was asking my mother, why does this matter? Her response was, this is how we change the world. Like every kid, I wanted to be a hero, someone who literally changed the world. So my mother's words planted a seed within me. It didn't fully sprout till about 5 years later, while I was working on my civic engagement badge for Girl Scouts. I had to interview an elected official and ask a few questions. I interviewed the then city council president, and what was supposed to be 15 minutes quickly went on for 2 hours. I kept in touch and went on to page for him on the local and state level. Through interactions with elected officials and being on the chamber floor, I realized my mom was right. We changed the world through policy, and to be part of that change, I needed to be in the room where it happens. And for that to happen, I needed a seat at the table, and I didn't want to be the only one there. I wanted my peers present as well. That's why at the age of 15, I founded SPEAR. SPEAR stands for Showing Political Engagement and Responsibility. SPEAR is a Jacksonville-based initiative dedicated to increasing youth civic engagement and youth voter turnout. SPEAR strives to create positive social and political change and is currently implemented in 10 states and 7 countries. As a part of SPEAR, I launched Changemaker magazine, a platform where youth can collectively express themselves regarding current events. There, they are given the opportunity to share possible solutions as well as opinions. The magazine is led by an all-female board with writers across 5 countries. Through my growing activism, I noticed a gentle pattern began to present itself. That pattern being that when youth come together and collectively use their voice to disrupt a system, whether it's local politics or historical injustice, it not only brings awareness to the inequities of life, but also makes change inevitable. One of the most prominent examples of young voices coming together to create change within the city of Jacksonville is the successful name change of my school, formerly known as Robert E. Lee High School, to now Riverside High. Prior to walking you through the events that led to the name change, I want you to ask yourself the following questions. How would you feel if you had no voice in decisions that directly impact you? What if those decisions had implications that not only impact you, but also your peers, your school, your county? For the students of then Robert E. Lee High School, these were loaded questions. Upon becoming the senior class president, the students became my direct priority, and their wants weren't seen as something that should ever be disregarded. So when I realized that students had no say in a conversation that directly impacts them, I quickly jumped into action. For how could you make a decision regarding a school and not involve the students? I went to community meetings, school board meetings, and hosted rallies. At every meeting or event I attended, I brought my peers with me and made sure that every board, every leader, and every adult heard the youth speak and that our desires were communicated. From there, we'd post it on social media and invite more peers out to join us. A few times, I had to negotiate with coaches to let their athletes out a little bit early. As more and more people started talking about the issue, we received coverage from CNN, Teen Vogue, and TikToks posted regarding the name change and what was said in those meetings were quickly becoming viral. On the day of my graduation, the superintendent made the recommendation to change the name of Robert E. Lee High School to Riverside High School. The following week, the school board met and cast their votes, and the name was changed. I now stand before you as the last senior class president of Robert E. Lee High School. Yeah. But I want to emphasize what it took to get there. What's in a name? Robert E. Lee was the commanding general for the Confederate Army in the American Civil War. The central cause of the Civil War was the status of slavery. On the eve of the American Civil War in 1860, 4 million of the 32 million Americans were Black slaves. Now imagine a school where 72% of the students are Black and have to walk into a school bearing that name. That's why the name change mattered. What's in a name? As the founder of SPEAR, I literally had to show political engagement and responsibility to organize youth the way I did, to make sure our voice was heard. So, if you want to be an activist, if you want to create change, if you want a seat at the table, first, for the youth, recognize that you need and deserve a seat at the table. We are the upcoming generation, and that alone gives us every reason to be part of the conversation. For the adults, as you move forward through life, use your platform to not only reach a hand back and show youth the way, but also create space for youth at the decision-making table, and not just for those who are already involved. To my peers, you don't need a position for your opinion to be valid and for your voice to be heard. All you need is a cause, even if that cause is something as simple as a name. When I think of my generation and what's in our name, a quote by Nelson Mandela comes to mind. He said, "Sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great." And we plan on being that generation. Thank you.